Hello, hello. Welcome to the 31st episode of the Veggies Abroad Vegan Travel Podcast with the chief veggie pusher, myself, Rebecca Gady-Sawicki. Some of you may already be familiar with Veggies Abroad, but for those of you who aren't, we're a full-service vegan travel company that offers custom planning services, small group trips, a helpful blog chock full of just about everything a vegan or veg-curious traveler could possibly need, and also this podcast. With this podcast, I hope to bring you guys the inside scoop of what vegan-friendly, and eco-friendly businesses are doing in the wide world of travel. Today's episode is super fun and a great reminder that activism can take shape in many forms. Perfect for Veganuary, which we are coming to a close very rapidly on. Often, people think activism is only if you carry a sign or strap yourself to a door somewhere, but in actuality, there are many ways in which you can advocate for change, especially within the travel space. I always tell clients that when they request vegan options, even if it's just non-dairy milk, you're planting a seed with that business that makes them think, well, why don't we carry this? Or we should add it. I've had many conversations with folks in the hotel industry, with restaurants, and there have been many times where they've paused and they're like, you know what? You're right. That's weird we don't have anything. And then if someone else asks them, that further reinforces the idea. Many places are not going to make change unless they know that there is demand. So it's on all of us to keep asking. Today's guest took it a step even further. Over many years, she has been able to change an entire restaurant vegan and improve menu options across the entire resort. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Farah Shammas is the managing director of the award-winning St Raphael Resort Marina in Limassol, Cyprus, a pioneer in sustainable luxury and eco-conscious hospitality. With a background in classical literature, tourism marketing, and certifications in plant-based nutrition, Farah champions the ethos of radiate kindness with sustainable luxury. An accomplished speaker and podcast host of Hotel Talk with Farah Shammas, she shares insights on sustainability, wellness, women's empowerment, and leadership. Farah is also the founder of Farah's Club, an international wellness community promoting health, happiness, and personal growth. Hi, Farah. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course, and especially as a timely chat, one, for Veganuary, but two, because as I look out my window, everything is covered in snow, and we are about to go into the coldest part of the year on record. So I'm really looking forward to talking about a very sunny destination that's probably warm and lovely right now.
Well, definitely. I mean, you can't see all of me, but I'm just in a little top and wrap dress, no tights today. Just my trainers, just literally in a
so
shirt
jealous.
Dress. It's about 20 degrees here. It does drop in the evening quite a bit, so you do need a jacket in the evening, and which is nice because we miss wearing our jeans and our jackets, and we want to get out boots. And but yeah, for the most part of the day, it's beautiful, sunny, lovely. Warm Mediterranean climate.
So jealous. So your Mediterranean climate, let's dive into exactly where that is on the beautiful island of Cyprus, and what is Cyprus known for?
Oh, well, pleasure. I imagine that most of your listeners are based in the US or Canada. So a lot of people understandably might not know exactly where Cyprus is. We are in the Mediterranean. We are the third largest island in the Mediterranean after Sicily and Sardinia. And we are the most eastern part of the Med. So we are below Turkey, just west of, let's say, Lebanon and that region. Safe, though. A lot of people see the map and then get worried with some of the recent turmoil going on in the Middle East, but we're very much a peaceful, safe island. We have a population of around 1.5 million people. It's the third largest island, but it's still a small island. And we're just a lovely, lovely place to enjoy Mediterranean wholesome life. We have great food here. We have mountains, we've got beach. We're known as one of the few places on earth. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually ski in Cyprus in winter.
No way.
And we have snow up in the mountains. And so on the same day, you could technically, not many people ever do this, but technically you can ski in the morning and then just drive down. It's only 40 minutes, 1 hour away, and be at the beach on the same day, which is amazing. We have a lot of UNESCO heritage areas and protected areas. We have over 50 hiking and nature trails on the island. We're really quite well established now for cycling because the weather's so perfect over winter. It's a great place to train and be healthy and just enjoy nature. Our roads and our infrastructure are really quite good. We used to be a British colony, so everyone here speaks English really well. All the signs are also in English. We do drive on the same side of the road as the British, but it's a small island, yet big enough to live or spend a lot of time or come back time and time again for holidays and not get bored. And each town is very different. Like our beaches are really different. We've got the turquoise, dream-like, golden sand beaches, and then we've got the white cliffs and deep blue seas, and we have silver sands, and just lots of different colors and things to see. And it's just really a beautiful island that can keep you busy for many days and months just exploring.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so nice. I was putting in the back of my mind to look up flights from Detroit to Cyprus after this.
Oh, you should. You'd have to fly via, so from the Americas, let's say, you'd have to fly via either London or Athens or Vienna or Frankfurt or Dubai if that's suited. But there's lots of different options. And then, within Europe, we're only, depending on where in Europe, a couple of hours away. So, it's really great.
Sounds like a really good idea right now. And your climate, so year round, you're pretty temperate?
No, we do. We are the island. I mean, we've always said this. We have 4 seasons, but I don't know if we've really got a very severe winter. It does rain here, but usually when it rains, we don't do drizzle. So don't imagine UK style drizzle. It will really rain for like an hour and then it's back to sunny, and that will only happen a few times a year anyway. So it's really very pleasant. Summer is really quite hot. It can go up to 40 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Celsius. So it's really warm. That's like July, August time. But then, in winter, on average, it's about 20 degrees. And then spring is lovely, very green, just a beautiful time, especially to explore the nature of the island and so much archaeology. We have 12,000 years of history. We were the first place in the world where they bottled smells, so perfume. We've got the world's first domesticated cat was in Cyprus. So there's lots and lots of very, very cute parts of history that came out of our island, including the myth Pygmalion, actually, as well. And of course, the goddess Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, was born in Cyprus. She came out of the waves. So there's so much history. There's a lot of temples, ancient Greek sites, beautiful churches, Greek Orthodox churches, and just so much more.
That's amazing. So many reasons to want to visit. And then another really big reason that I think listeners will want to visit, and me as well, is that you are credited with making St. Raphael's very, very, very vegan friendly. So let's jump into that and what prompted your interest in making the resort more friendly.
Well, myself.
Perfect. We're all so glad. Thank you.
So the hotel is it's a stunning resort that I feel very honored to run. My grandfather, it was his dream, and he built it at the end of his life. It was 216 rooms when he built it, and then my father was running it for him and on behalf of the family, and expanded it. It's now 272 rooms. It's got a 238 berth marina. Now we have 8 restaurants, a spa, and just so much more. Swimming pools outside, huge gardens. So it's a really beautiful resort in itself. I became vegan 8 years ago now, I think. Yeah, 8 years ago. And but even before that, I was really on, nothing was overnight. I was on I'd say a slow journey over the last couple of decades. I think like a lot of people are towards living a healthier lifestyle. And one of our restaurants, which is on the beach, which is really beautiful, was serving the same food as everywhere. You could go and get your souvlaki or kebab and pizza and a burger and a club sandwich. And I wanted to differentiate it. So we renamed it Seashells Healthy Living, and we made it into a no processed flour, no processed sugar, no meat, no dairy restaurant. But we did have a little bit of salmon going on because at the time I was a pescatarian, and I was like, well, let's make it healthy, but keep that. And it was also quite a big thing because even though we're an island and most people associate island life with fish eating cultures, but we're actually more, I think because we're so far east in the Mediterranean, we don't get as much fish as people would think. So our culture is much more meat orientated, and especially pork. So it was quite a big jump to even go to the degree we went to at the time, which is probably about 10 years ago now. But it went really well, like really well. It was really well received. And then I still wanted to do something different. And so one thing led to another. We made that restaurant vegan. And it's been every year, actually, we get more and more people coming. Most of our clients are not vegan. And it's just been really nice and exciting to watch that grow. And then we realized the growing demand. I realized it as a vegan, traveling and going to places that not only didn't have vegan options, but we've all been there. Throw you some, token leaves put together, or some French fries, or tell you here's a fruit platter for your dessert, or whatever it might be. And I was like, this isn't on. We've got to, do something. The irony is, and I always tell other people, or other restaurateurs, entrepreneurs, hoteliers, the minority leads the majority, and people forget that. They say, oh, but they look at their menu engineering and they say, or their sales from any restaurant, and they say, oh, but let's say they put Beyond on their menu or a vegan option. They say, oh, but I've only sold 50 of those and I sold 300 of the other, but you sold those 50 and that's why you sold the 300 other, because the vegan in the couple is the one that went to that restaurant because the other person can eat anywhere, or the other family members will manage, but it's that one that they had to find out where they could go for their son who has a dairy intolerance or whatever it might be. So, it was a slow process. It was quite difficult to convince our board at some points, and a lot of people weren't completely on board, or, thought I'd kind of lost it. But we were we became part of Vegan Welcome, which is a group of hotels, 4- and 5-star luxury hotels that can accommodate vegans well to eat and not worry about their food. Because I think a lot of people find that when they go away, they want to just relax, but they're constantly stressed with where they can go and eat at next, where can they find food. And everyone, we can all manage for 1 or 2 or 3 meals. But either we're going to get bored of the one token pasta option that they have, or, which has happened to me as well, everyone going to a place for a week and literally eating the same food, lunch and dinner. Or you're just going to, not eat and become agitated. So, it's been really fun. So, and because I am so much for healthy eating as well, and healthy lifestyles and sustainable practices, it's been, an interesting process getting the whole team on board, making sure that we have a lot of staff, 250 staff, that every single one of them, whatever department they're in, understand when someone says I'm vegan, or I've got this intolerance, or I can't eat that, or I don't want to eat that, whatever it might be. And it doesn't just stop at veganism. It might be somebody has a problem chewing and they need their food mashed up. We have repeat guests who have that. It might be someone's got an intolerance to nuts. It might be gluten allergies. It might be whatever. Just to really understand and really care about that individual's experiences. So yeah, it's been great. And all our menus are, as a golden rule, 30% of every menu has to be plant-based.
Wow,
so
that's
any
amazing.
buffet you go to in our hotel, 30% is plant-based, if not more. Any menu you pick up will have a 30% plant-based option. When Seashells is a summer restaurant, when that closes, we do a pop-up menu at our bar, and even our regular bar menu has 30% plant-based options. So it's just been wonderful to see so many people come and be able to deliver that holiday that they say deserve, choosing a kindness lifestyle, because that's what veganism is, and being able to come to a resort, have a nice time, relax, know that they can eat wherever they go, and just have a gym there and have spa treatments and have a beautiful view. And that's why we get more and more repeaters coming back for it. And people bring it, like, we had one client this year and they were so happy. They're a family of vegans that have vegan restaurants and businesses themselves in Germany. And next year they've already booked to come back with like 5 families because they were just so happy.
Amazing.
And yeah.
That's really great. It's always the worst when you book something and you spend money and then you find out, well, what I just spent money on is only going to get me toast and fruit. It's the absolute worst. And I have so many fights with hotels, like constantly, with explaining to staff exactly what vegan means or what gluten-free means, and that they're not the same thing. Or if someone is, has an allergy to nuts. And that is something that is incredibly lacking in the industry. And I would think in 2025, we wouldn't be having some of these conversations, but yet people just can't get it. Drives me crazy.
And also, you don't want to be the annoying one. Like, we're not there to make their lives difficult. Like, we want it to be easy. We just want to go on holiday and just pick up a menu and find something we can eat. We don't want to have to lecture them on why we can't eat something. Or I was told in one restaurant, okay, it's only got 20% cow milk in it. And I was like, yeah, but I don't eat that. And then they came back. They were like, okay, well, we're not sure. And I said, well, go and check. And they came back and they put it back in front of me. And they went, well, never mind, just eat it. This is the only option we have for you. And it's, only 20%. And I don't know if I was in a good mood that day, because I would say with a normal me would flip, but I laughed in their face because it was so ridiculous. I was just like, you know what, get this out of my face and let's just stop this conversation, because this is not even worth responding to you. Just eat it.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I think that's a new one.
Yeah. And even now we booked, and normally we do researches quite well. My husband's, he's not vegan. We always laugh, he's flexitarian, but he's very aware, just of, the hassle for me. So he always does check. But we booked this stunning hotel in Switzerland, really beautiful, 5-star. We were like, great, let's book that. And then the next day he emailed them and just said, oh, by the way, my wife's vegan. And they were like, oh, well, we don't have any options. And I'm like,
oh my gosh,
5-star hotel not have. So I was like, okay, I'm just not going to take this like holiday before we even got there. I just emailed them and I'm like, okay, this is what it means. I'm arriving this day, leaving that day. You sort it out. I mean, you know, you're 5-star.
That's their job.
And actually, and this is for me like a good example of like how, not that we're there to train people, but hopefully that will open their eyes and then they'll have to look it up. And then for the next client after me, it'll be easier. So, but yeah, as you said, in 2025, that we're still having to do this is crazy. So that is what you will not have at St Raphael Resort. You will never have to explain what Vegetarian or vegan means you will just come and have a nice time and relax and eat fantastic food. And that's all I want to deliver is great guest experiences.
A true holiday.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you
Yeah.
touched
So,
on a little bit of challenges with implementing a vegan menu and making other menus vegan friendly. Let's talk a little bit more about some of those challenges. Did you get pushback from chefs, pushback from management?
yeah, it's very tough at the beginning, especially, I mean, I understand it. We were all raised in our own way, and our parents do our best. As parents, we do our best for our children. So when we, at any stage of our lives, but let's say as an adult, you feel someone could be criticizing your food choices, that immediately, you know, creates a defensive reaction because you always defend your parents. So you're like, what do you mean we shouldn't be eating meat? Because in the back of your head, you've got your grandma's voice going on and your dad and your mum's voice and just saying, yeah, eat this, it will make you be strong and da da da. So, loads. I mean, the beginning, the chefs were like, what? And then the pastry chefs, that's the most hilarious. They're like, how are we going to make a cake without egg? Like, what are you talking about? And I was literally in the kitchens with our team, like, okay, let me show you how to make a vegan muffin. And I don't always like measure when I bake or cook. And so that, they were like, oh, wait, like laughing, with the team. And they're like, well, what are you doing? And you need to measure this and how much flaxseed. I'm like, no, just watch and then recreate it later. So we had a lot of fun, I mean, that's just the only way to look at it, just to get them to love it, have fun. Until now, sometimes they give me dishes. I'm like, that is not going on a menu, or that's just horrible. Like, why would you think a vegan would eat that? I'm like, did you try this? Did you eat it? But other times, and the 99% of the time, I'm just blown away. And I'm like looking at them and I'm like, 1 minute, aren't you the heavy meat eater? Did you just make this yourself? And they're like, yeah, it's really good. And our previous executive chef, he's just retired. He turned vegan. He
No
was one of the
way.
ones that was like, this is crazy, no way.
That's amazing.
And then we sent him on a few trips to go to like vegan festivals, do some, research. He bought so many vegan cookbooks and he really got into it. And then, from trying them all and then slowly adopting that lifestyle, a year after he went for his like routine body check, like health check, and the doctor was like, what have you done? Your cholesterol is down, your weight is down, your blood pressure is down. And it's a stressful job. Everything was like, the doctor's like, you're like a new person. And he was like, yeah, I went vegan.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
which is
What a great
amazing. So
story.
it's been really nice. And, our GM now is fantastic. And he's quite a healthy guy anyway. He's not vegan, but he, I think predominantly does secretly like more plant-based food. And so he's also, been really on board with it. The whole team has got into sustainability as a whole. So everything goes hand in hand. I'm trying to get them more and more to eating plant-based meals within the staff cafeteria and enjoying it more. And of course, the Mediterranean diet, the traditional food, is plant-based anyway. It's a lot of beans, a lot of legumes and fresh fruits and salads and fresh vegetables, nuts and seeds. So I think slowly, you can't change everyone, but I think a lot of the team have definitely become healthier for it, and a lot are vegan now, so that is good as well.
That's really great. I mean, congratulations to you for helping usher in that change. And so with, some of the pushback, were there points when you thought, okay, this isn't going to work. They're not going to go for it. I'm going to have to get rid of this?
I think there were definitely periods where I did feel disappointed or like a little bit knocked sometimes, where I would just get some comments or people would laugh at things, and On the whole, I don't want to say a confident person, but I'm quite sure of myself, my decisions, and I don't mind different opinions, or I understand that some people might laugh. So I don't take it to heart or get offended. I just don't take it seriously. But yeah, there were times I thought, oh, maybe not. Or you'd see the results, you see the financial results, and you have to justify what you're doing and then be like, oh, well, would we be making more money? I mean, let's be honest, most of the time, instead of a vegan restaurant, you would make more money selling, crappy chicken that's cheaper and a lot of people want, than having those options, just some healthy plant-based options. But I really stuck to the principle, or then especially like people coming to the same restaurant, having their coffee and saying, no, but I want cow milk. And then even the staff saying, oh, come on, let's just get cow milk in. Who cares? And then I was like, well, I care, and other vegans who come here care. And that's not the ethics behind this restaurant. And then, you'll lose business, but you just have to, be sure of what you're doing. But then you've got to justify it to others. And that's tough sometimes. But I'm really happy that we did stick to it. I'm really happy that as a team, we've all come around and we're in it together. And the feedback I get from the clients is that every single person they talk to when they're at St Raphael understands what veganism is, what vegan food is. They're proud to be part of it. They love chatting to people who are vegan. And it's just so nice. And that's ultimately what's the most rewarding.
Hey there, fantastic listeners. Let's hit pause on this episode for a thrilling announcement, a golden ticket to Globetrot with Veggies Abroad. Veggies Abroad isn't just your go-to for vegan guides and trip planning tips. It's your passport to extraordinary small group journeys, carefully crafted by the ultimate veggie pusher and your favorite podcast host, me, Rebecca Gady-Sawicki. I've spent countless hours researching the best vegan hotels, food, and experiences, and now I'm bringing those experiences directly to you. Join me and my newfound veggie pals on escapades to exciting and exotic destinations around the world. Whether it's trekking through the Thai jungle to witness elephants in their natural habitat, or staying at a carbon-neutral camp in Kenya during the Great Migration, our adventures are nothing short of spectacular. And guess what? Those aren't the only exciting trips awaiting you. So what are you waiting for? Cruise on over to veggiesabroad.com pronto. Well, how about after this episode is over, to explore our dazzling lineup of 2024 trips and secure your spot on your next vegan adventure today. That is really, really nice. And that is always really difficult when you do have to make those justifications, because any kind of change, one, takes time and takes investment. And a lot of people don't want to sit around for that change and want the immediate positive response of cash flow. And so that can be really hard when you're all on different wavelengths with that. And you're like, wait, just wait. It'll work.
Yeah. Just give it time. Like, I promise it's gonna,
Right.
And it has, I mean, it was one of the big reasons why we, joined Vegan Welcome, why people know that, St Raphael is serious about having proper, decent vegan food and catering for vegans, and why we're really committed to sustainability as well, because that's the biggest thing we can do for our carbon footprint. We can put, which we've done, all the photovoltaics we can fit onto the roof. We can, go plastic free. We can, change or go paperless. We were the first to get rid of paper straws. We did so many changes. Our key cards, obviously, our washing, our using eco-friendly cleaning products and detergents, our food waste. But the biggest thing, we all know is what's going on everyone's plates. So I can't control that. It obviously, the majority of guests are still going to have their eggs at breakfast, or their bacon or a sausage. I can't stop them doing that, but I can put, scrambled tofu there, and maybe on one of the 7 days they're with us, they'll say, you know what, let me try this instead. And if I make it good enough, which I think we do, they'll say, wow, actually, that was good. Can I make that at home? Let me look up that recipe. And then they go home armed with that bit of information of this is another alternative. And they might then implement one meal a week after staying with us that is plant-based without even realizing it. And then that's the ripple effect is so huge. And that's the ultimate aim.
Yeah, you're planting a seed, which is huge. And we need more and more of those seeds planted in order to continue to, it's cliche, grow a garden.
Yeah, save the world one meal at a time.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So on the menus, either at Seashells or the other restaurants that have options, what kind of options would people expect to see?
So I'm really proud of our breakfast. The team, the chefs and all the team have done such a fantastic job. So we have literally two lines of warm buffet food. The
Wow.
one is the typical, the sausages, the eggs, I don't know what's on it.
Other stuff.
I haven't eaten whatever, bacon and all of that. And then the other line is as big as that, and that's all plant-based options.
Oh
So
my God,
on
amazing.
that we are like literally half, and that we have delicious oats. We've got sometimes some quinoa or buckwheat options. Obviously, we've got the vegetables. We've got the scrambled tofu. We've got different flavored breads and just a whole selection in the hot. And then we go to our plant-based yogurts, plant-based cheese, plant-based ham. Obviously, fruits and vegetables. We've got the Cypriot corner that is pretty much all vegan, except for there's some things that have honey in traditionally. But we've got things like bastelagi, which is like sesame and nuts in carob syrup, like dried bars. Mm-hmm. We have protein bars. We do chia seed puddings. We obviously the breads. We've got gluten-free breads as well. We have savory treats like olive pies, which are quite traditional, and spinach pies that are vegan. We do vegan pancakes. We do vegan anything people want in that regard. Even if they don't see it on the menu, we can help create it for them. So we really, really have loads of options, and they change. So even when I go down, I'm like, oh, the chef just put this on, vegan, like marble cakes and dried cakes. So just lots going on at breakfast. And then we haven't even got to the snack time where we'll have different bars. At Seashells, the menu is just stunning. It's beautiful, colorful burgers and bao buns to amazing gyros, vegan gyros and souvlaki, watermelon salads, chickpea salads, delicious puddings like summer puddings and mango treats and chocolate cakes. The Lila Paws chocolate cake is doing really well, and the Oreo muffin is amazing.
Oh my gosh.
And then in other restaurants, buffet, we have artichoke stews, we have tofu, sometimes tofu balls or falafel, tofu in different sauces. We Indian salads. I mean, I can go on. I mean, if I had 3 hours, I'd still be telling you about all the different food we have.
I love it.
And we have an amazing Thai restaurant, and obviously Thai food is really well known for its vegan options. So that's got amazing vegan options in that restaurant, from vegetables to pineapple fried rice to our freshly made spring rolls. My favorite is the tofu panang in the panang like red curry sauce. It's really good. Papaya salad, mango salad, flour dumplings. So there's just loads. And in the evening we have, in our main restaurant, we have theme nights. So we might have Italian night and Asian nights. We do vegan sushi, also at the Captain's Terrace. Wherever you look, there's food and there's a restaurant. We have a Cypriot restaurant, which, as I mentioned before, is predominantly meat. And so that's a meze, which is a collection of little plates all put in front of you, like family style, to share. And the traditional menu is this salad and meat version. We have a fish version for those who want that, but then we've got the vegan version that is just amazing. So the whole meze is vegan for whoever books that. And it's really good. I'm an Italian restaurant that has all Italian options. So yeah, vegan options if they want. Our street food restaurant has some great a beetroot wrap and a Mexican quinoa wrap. Just loads.
It sounds
and
like you have a really
desserts.
good diversity of stuff. So like healthy stuff, middle of the road stuff, and then if you like want to just gorge on cake, you could do that too.
Yeah, exactly. And also, everyone. I mean, okay, sometimes there's the vegan that wants the Beyond Burger or the Moving Mountain. And then there's the vegan that wants, the oat bread, whole grain bread with, a chickpea burger. So we have that as well. There's, it's hot as well in summer. There's people who want just a bit of salad or some vegan sushi. And then others who want a hearty soup, with a stew on rice afterwards. So we have that too. So we really, we have something for everyone. Yeah. Vegan sausages. Yeah.
I've noticed too that you've used both the term plant-based and vegan. Did you guys test out using those two terms and find any kind of different response to either?
Yes, we have. Then I use them. I think the one is more appropriate. So, and I always say this because obviously there's a difference between plant-based and vegan. And vegan is very much your lifestyle, isn't it? So you to live a plant-based lifestyle means you just eat plant-based food, healthy, whole foods, and it might even be predominantly. But if you live a vegan lifestyle, then as a matter of morals and ethics, you're not going to eat anything from an animal, nor wear them, nor put them on your skin or anything else. I think anyone who's vegan, we just see that word and it's like Mecca and we just light up and we're like, yes, But I think if you're not, for a lot of people, they feel very defensive, which we went into. There's, huge psychology behind that. For me also on like when we're labeling food, it is always trial and error. And then also understand that the team, I can't check all of that. And the team sometimes they're in a rush and they're just like, oh, they put, vegan pasta or whatever. And I'm like, oh, you know what? That might just be a pasta. Just write it and then underneath, put suitable for vegans. Because if someone sees that, even if they wanted pasta with tomato sauce, they'll be like, well, I'm not vegan. Let me find my pork chop,
Yeah.
So there is always that reaction, and they have done studies where they've seen sales drop if they write that. But again, it depends on your audience. If you've got people who are looking for that and excited, they're going to appreciate the fact that it's boldly stated and recognizable. We also had a big, ongoing dilemma in the resort with whether we mix and match the vegan food amongst the non-vegan food or whether we separate it. And for a very long time, I was quite adamant about it being mixed in. And because my aim is always secretly veganize the world. But no.
Yeah,
my
exactly.
My aim is really that you'll have a non-vegan person, and yes, they're putting their chicken wings, but they're still eating rice, plain rice. I mean, that's vegan,
Yeah, right.
Why should that be separated on a different, or rice with spinach? Why should that be on another buffet? And if they're having vegetables, I want them to eat vegetables, and our vegetables don't have butter on them. We just, either have them plain or dress them with fresh local Cypriot olive oil, which is, amazing. And fresh herbs. So I want them to have that. And then if they eat more of that, they're going to eat less of the chicken wings because,
Right.
I want them to reduce that. So if I separate it too much, those same people who are like, I'm never going to be vegan, are just going to look at that section and say, that's not for me, I'm not going there. And then have a fibrous, meat-heavy plate, which isn't good for them. It's not good for the environment. So I'm not helping. I'm cutting my nose to spite my face. But then on the other hand, when you mix and match, you get the same person who doesn't care or doesn't understand, and they use the wrong serving utensils. So, they dig out their macaroni di forno, like their pasta with meat, and then they, throw that on their plate, and then they use that same thing to put the potatoes that are next to it. And so that's all being mixed in with your potatoes. And then, any vegan who sees that, I don't want to eat that. That's just, being there. Right. Or you use that fork, fork to pluck out your,
if someone has an allergy.
So you end up with this dilemma. So in the end, I said, okay, we just separated them, and I just try and make it. It's not like a different thing where it has like only for vegans on top. It's just there. And when people go and look at it, we try and write it more subtly below what it is. Like I just mentioned this dish now that's very famous in Cyprus, macaroni di forno, which is oven baked pasta basically. And it's like pasta with mincemeat and then bechamel sauce and then cheese on top. And we can make it, of course, non-vegan, but we make it the vegan version so well that we end up making that more now, and then having that as one of the options on. And because it wasn't so obvious, like over Christmas, people were putting it, and they were like, "Oh, this is so good." And my brother, who's a massive, massive meat eater, and he is one of these, like, I'm not vegan, and like you get scared by the word as if it's gonna jump in and take over his soul. And he was making a point of like, oh, this meat is so good, and eating his food. And then he was like, and this pasta is amazing, and like, almost looking at my children like, don't you want to eat this? And then my husband goes to him, who loves that pasta, and he's like, yeah, and can you believe it's vegan? And my brother's face just dropped. It was like, he was like making, it was so funny, so funny.
That's
and I'm
amazing.
Like, well, you see, like, you can't even tell a difference. And that's not even made with mock meat. It's made with soya mince, So it's pretty plant-based, let's say, as far as it goes, yeah.
What was his response to that?
I was watching him, and he slowly stopped eating it.
Oh,
he didn't say,
gosh.
But I was like, he didn't finish it. Yeah, you see, and then I was like, it's very interesting to see, different psychology. Yeah, it was like as a point, like
yeah. It was like he was no longer manly if he continued eating the soy mince pasta.
Yeah, it is what it is.
That's frustrating. Well, what has the response been like from guests over this kind of? It's been about 10 years of this change, or 10 years since you started the change?
A bit less, actually. Maybe since we started. But yeah, it's really positive, like really positive. We get of course, the people who just want their animal products, and they're all there. They can have them. But there's always the ones who are willing to try. And then there's so many more vegans, coming into the world all the time. Like every day, it's Veganuary now. And we were all, I was one of those, I'll never not eat meat. I grew up like that. I grew up in a meat-heavy household. So it takes time, but it's amazing to watch it happen. And in general, it's been received really well. And people who have been, they just love it. And who doesn't love a good falafel? Like, we make good falafel. Like, come on, you don't have to be vegan to like that. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Pretty basic stuff. Has your change at the resort influenced any other resorts in Cyprus?
I think so. I hope so, because I said that actually a year ago when we won the Sustainability Award for the most sustainable hotel on the island. And
amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And in my acceptance speech, I said the nicest thing about this award is that we're all winners, and that it's an award that I want to share with everyone what we've done. I want people to copy us. And I almost want another winner next year. so that someone suddenly has done better than us, and I want to then do better than them, and I want us all to be competing, because we'll all win. Nobody loses when someone else, when we're doing something good for the planet. So I did say I hope that, on the next year's award, all the menu will be plant-based, and I didn't get a big response in the audience. It was like silence. Everyone else until then was like, well done. What? And then, yeah, I think it's I've seen some hotels do it better than others on the island. Some before it was the typical, the one token, shepherd's pie option, and that was it. Like, I've done it, or I've put a Beyond on the menu, that should be enough. But now they're doing like more and more. Some hotels will, even call me like hoteliers. I'm not at all competitive like that. So I'll always be like, yeah, why don't you do this? Or when I visit them, I'm like, oh yeah, try that. And that worked for us. And, but yeah, I'd say on the most part, no one is at this point anywhere close to us, in terms of the volume and the understanding of what it is to offer truly vegan hospitality. And for that, I'm really proud of our team, because I can only do so much from my desk, but they're doing the wonders out there on the field. So, yeah.
The day-to-day. Well, you're paving a path that hopefully other hotels will want to follow, especially as they see your success. Do you see this as a growing trend in the hospitality industry, or do you think that we'll start to see more vegan-friendly resorts? I will say I have seen more fully vegan places pop up over the last decade, and that was something I never thought that I would see.
And the nice thing is that they're like fully booked, when they do it well. I think vegan places are either like hitting the nail on the head and flying. And there's some resorts, for love of money, you cannot get a place into for like 6 months ahead. And then there's other maybe vegan restaurants that open that flop so quickly. Mm-hmm. And then, people can say, well, but for the most part, I mean, I've seen many pop up in Cyprus, and I'm always so excited when a new vegan restaurant opens. I'm like, yay. And a lot of them have failed. And unfortunately, there's no other reason, just that they have not been very good. It's not been about location or logistics or operational issues, or just simply that what they're offering has not been great. So from there, where do you go from there? It's not because they're vegan. It's just hasn't been, they haven't succeeded in that regard. And others have done so well. So I don't think of veganism as a trend in any industry. But yes, maybe the offerings are, or could be perceived like that. But that it's not a trend. It's it's a slow realization and awakening in people and businesses and entrepreneurs. And look at 11 Madison Park, EMP. I mean, that's a story that is just, insane. The best restaurant in the world went vegan at the height of its, success, because one man suddenly said, I can't on my good conscience keep serving animal products when an industry does this. And that's, amazing. And the world needs more people like that. But I think we will see more people like that who will say, you know what, I don't care about the profitability. This is what is good. And this is what is needed. And also it's very slow, but with all the sustainability practices and implementations and government directives that are coming into place, with deadlines being tight, like 2030 is only 5 years away, and there's so many things that have to be done by then. Whether people like it or not, they have got to become greener and not just greenwash. And the biggest thing that they can do for that within their business is offer plant-based food. It's that simple. Whether that's an airline, I'm surprised there's no airline as yet that said we're only offering plant-based options, because, that obviously the carbon footprint on air travel is, ginormous, and there's no way technology is not even close to beginning to offset that. Buying carbon credits now has, you can still do it, but you can't claim carbon neutrality from doing that. You can't offset and market that. So loads of things are changing in the industry. So I think that will be the only way forward for airlines, at least, to even make a dent in it. So I do see a lot of change happening within the next 5 years or so. I can't wait to see it happen. New technology is amazing. Whatever people think, even on things like lab grown meat, it might have originally come from the stem of an animal, but at least even for people who wouldn't have that, vegans who don't believe in that, for so many others, I mean, that is better than hanging a cow up by its legs and killing a damn animal,
Yeah.
So there are so many options. Printing meat, huge technology coming out. So I think the industry is evolving massively. The science is there already. People don't want to listen to it. There's a lot of lobbying against this movement, but there's only so much they can do. And eventually, these voices will be heard. And I'm so proud to be part of it. I'm so happy that I'm part of it and that you are. And I think we're going to see more and more amazing things happen.
I 100% agree. So much shifting and changing and evolution, and either people are going to be here for it or they're going to, I don't know, I'll have to go somewhere else, Mars maybe. But we've got to do something for sure. So as we wrap up.
And we can see it. We can see the world is,
on fire.
We can see the fires and, that we need to do something. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can't ignore, the so-called elephant in the room any longer. Change has to be made. As we wrap up things, are there any last things that people should know about the resort, about booking with you, where they should book, when they should come? Any last thoughts?
Well, look, Cyprus is amazing to come any time of year. We are known as a summer destination, but that's, I think, just because in traditional marketing, people, get tourists knew us as like, oh, the summer sun destination.
Sure.
It's great for beaches. But really, I mean, for me, this time of year is the best time. You get to wear jeans and a t-shirt and put your trainers on and not sweat and go for amazing hikes.
Sounds amazing.
It's perfect. April is a really beautiful time. It's still green, but you can go to the beach as well. And then it's still cool enough in the evening to need a jean jacket. Or like October, November time. So if you're not constrained to kids' holidays, I definitely say to travel outside of the peak season, because you'll get to see the best of Cyprus, and then everything is so reasonable, like hotels. You'll just love it, and there's less traffic, and it's amazing. You can fly into Paphos or Larnaca, both of really good airports. Definitely come to Limassol. It's a great town, really cosmopolitan, and just close. It's central, so you can explore the whole island from here. And if you do want to come and stay at St Raphael Resort, then do get in touch. You can find me on social media, Farah Shammas, whether that's on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I'm not always checking my messages every day, but I will check them eventually. Or you can just email the resort where there are people checking the emails every day, and just say that you heard me on this podcast, and we will definitely give you a exclusive discount for listening in. And we can't wait to see you. So do come.
Perfect. And I will drop some links into the show notes for that. And the Seashells restaurant, is it open year round, or is it only open certain times?
So the Seashells is open in its location from May until the beginning of November. The beginning of May until usually we manage the whole of October, weather permitting, till the beginning of November. But then we have a pop-up restaurant that's open, that comes up with Seashells bestsellers at our Captain's Spa. So you can enjoy the food throughout the whole year. But obviously we have more restaurants open May until November because they're outdoor locations. However, in winter, you've still got enough locations, and Limassol is just like a gastronomy heaven. We have so many amazing restaurants, from tavernas, local tavernas, where you can have great plant-based options, to beautiful, world-class cuisine of like amazing 5-star level.
Amazing. Sounds great. I need to go and book my ticket. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've appreciated this conversation. It was a joy, and I look forward to seeing you in Cyprus at some point.
We look forward to welcoming you. Thank you so much, dear listeners. Keep on doing what you're doing. Spread the love, spread the ripple effect. And thank you so much for tuning in. Anytime you want to come to Cyprus, let us know.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving a review. If you'd also like to learn more about upcoming Veggies Abroad tours or get additional travel help, visit veggiesabroad.com and also join our newsletter. It's the best way to stay up to date with loads of new content, like where to find gorgeous vegan hotels, what to eat in cities around the world, trip planning tips, and so much more. Well, that's all I've got for now. Until next time.